Hey everybody, Glenn Younes again for my reoccurring video blog here on PressBoxOnline.com. Thank you to our title sponsor, Carbiz. Check them out online, Carbiz.com. Looking to buy a car before the end of the year? Why don't you go to Carbiz? Check them out there on Reisterstown Road. Okay, Ravens, we know the season that was, the season that is. It's not really going the way anybody wanted or expected, including Coach Harbaugh, including the players, including Steve Bisciotti. The question now becomes not what's going to happen this season, forgetting draft picks and player development. By the way, I've been a month or so ahead of basically every other person in Baltimore that talks Ravens, local or national, when everyone said they were playoff contenders. And I'm going to brag a bit. I don't care. I mean, it's my show, my blog. I'll do what I want. Peter King, SI, whatever. I was the first to say, no, what are you talking about? They don't have the talent you think. They might not even make the postseason. Then when it was become clear that they're not a Super Bowl contender and that they might not make the postseason, I said, look, the season's over. This is about player development. This is about seeing what we have in terms of depth. Then I said it's time to look at draft picks. It's time to maybe strategically bring in younger players and groom them, right? I've been ahead, at least a month ahead of everybody, because that's what I pride myself on. And for those who, listen to the show, they understand that, and who knew my background and my history as a media member before I even came to Baltimore. That was kind of like my opinion, and then my inside information, not breaking news, but my information is what has sort of made me my career from a national level to, top show local level. So, and here we are now as a businessman and doing this podcast and whatever else. So, I hope that when you watch this, you take that under consideration. It's not me blowing smoke about myself, it's the truth. And so when I say things, I hope you take it knowing that my history has been to not break news, not be that person, but to always be ahead of it, right? And that's just who I am. So as we look at Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, and I asked you last week whether you're okay with the sense of being a spoiler. I'm not sure that the Ravens sort of have that in them anymore, and I don't think they're there. So now the talk goes to what holes do they have, how do they fill them, and can they fill those holes in an offseason? I think Mike Preston wrote a really nice piece in the Baltimore Sun the other day about it, and his point was basically grossly overestimating their own talent this 2015 season. And because of that and injuries, do the Ravens have the ability to address that and fix it all in one season? I think I agree with Presto in that there's too many holes to fill in one offseason. It's why, by the way, the Ravens needed to hit on Terrence Brooks, and they needed to hit on Matt Elam, and they needed to hit on Arthur Brown, and they needed to, right? I mean, down the line. And they haven't. So, Forset's arm, Steve Smith's injury, Suggs' injury, Flacco's injury. This is going to be a vastly different team in 2016. The one thing we do know, in that even if the Ravens don't fill all the glaring gaps that they have, whether they're in the secondary or whether they're at running back, which I think Buck Allen and Terrence West may be, depending on if West can keep, it here, the future of the Ravens. With a healthy Joe Flacco, and that has always never been a question, now it will be in question because he has to come back from the knee issues, and we think he will. With a healthy Joe Flacco, this is still at a minimum, chances are, a quote-unquote 500-ish team. Couple things go your way, you're a chance for the postseason. Couple things don't, you're, not feeling it, if you will. My point is they have a lot of holes to fill. I'm not sure any team can fill that many holes considering the cap constraints that the Ravens are going to be under. Not major, but they're going to be tight with their budget as per usual, and that's okay. That's where they're at. With a Joe Flacco, they always have a shot. You hit on one or two guys, Perryman becomes what you think he is in 16, what you hoped for him to be in 15, what he comes to that in 16. You hit on one guy, all of a sudden, hey, you can be playoff contenders again. They still have a ton of gaps to fill between now and, let's say, this time next year when they hope to be in the playoff race. Just some thoughts on the Ravens. I'm not even going to give you a Kansas City prediction, at least not today. Pittsburgh game was flexed out of prime time. Are you upset about that? And then, of course, last game of the season at the Bengals, which, by the way, now it looks a little different because of Andy Dalton's broken thumb. As a Ravens fan, I'll urge you to do this. Take an interest in the rest of the league and see what that does for you. Instead of being just a Ravens fan, let's see if you become an NFL fan for the last month of the season and see what that turns into for you. It's a new look because it's been the Ravens, except for 1 year, deep into the postseason. In the last handful or so of years since 2008, when Harbaugh came in, See what it does for you. Just take an interest in the rest of the league. See what that does for you. Thank you to Carbiz. Check them out, carbiz.com online and also on their social platforms at Carbiz. And as always, right here on PressBoxOnline.com. Till next time, I'll talk to you.